Hello and welcome to iskipper.net. This is lesson 24, which is a course to steer. A course to steer is it's in many ways it's like an estimated position, which we've just learnt about, but it's been a bit more proactive. It's actually pointing the boat in the direction that you want to travel across the ground, rather than just pointing it in a random direction and then working out where you end up after that. So it's a way of kind of having a waypoint and then knowing which way to sail to counter the wind and the tide. We just have one more chart symbol to cover, and that one is a waypoint, which is it's a box with a line through it, and this is going to be our kind of goal point that we want to sail towards when we do our course to steer. So this is our course to steer. What I've got is this point here is we've got a fix, and that's our known position. And then our kind of goal point is our waypoint, which is actually this starboard hand marker. And if you'd notice, I've just drawn a waypoint symbol just there. So that's where we want to get to. And this is the line that we want the boat to travel. So back to our EPs, we know that this symbol here means it's course over ground. So this is where we want the actual boat to sail along. We want this boat to sail along the line and get to this point. So it's important now to check that there's no hazards in the way of this line, because this is where the boat's actually going to be travelling. So that's all clear. Got plenty of water. The next thing we need to do is measure the distance from our start point to our finish point, and I've actually measured it already, and it's 8.5 nautical miles. So that line there to there is 8.5, and what I need to do is estimate how much tide I'm going to apply to this, how much time it's going to take me to get there. And my boat's actually going to be travelling at 9 knots, so roughly that's going to take me an hour to get to this point here. So what I need to do now is apply the tide for that hour. I'm not going to show you at the moment how to work out how much tide in the direction. I want you to look at lesson 26, tidal streams, and you can work that. But I know that for this hour, the tide in this area is going to be at 007 degrees, and it's flowing at 3 knots. So what I've done at the start point, I've drawn that off, measured by 3 nautical miles. So that's 3 nautical miles, and these 3 arrowheads represent the tidal stream. The next thing I need to do is, from the end of the tidal stream, I need to open up my dividers to my actual boat speed, which I mentioned before was 9 knots. So what I did is measured the 9 nautical miles on the dividers. Then I put one end of the dividers at this point, and what I did is I didn't mention before, what you need to do is extend this line beyond your waypoint. And what I've done is put the dividers at this point, and then I've swung an arc at 9 nautical miles, and where it cuts through there, that's our course to steer. So that's the point, that's 9 nautical miles, this line. And then I've got one arrowhead, which is our water track. So what I need to do then is I take my Portland plotter and measure what the bearing is on this line, and that will be the actual direction I need to steer my boat to get to that given point. So what's actually going to be happening is my boat's going to be travelling along the course ground, but pointing in the direction of here. So it's just going to be crabbing along and then get to there. And it does work out because we know the tide's going to be pushing us that way, so we need to stay further towards the tide to counter that, and that's how much we need to do. Obviously you need to apply your feet variation and deviation to this course, and also apply any leeway as necessary. When I'm teaching day skipper theory courses, course of steer is quite often one of the harder things we have to teach, and some people do struggle with the concepts. But what I would suggest is just breaking it down into them different parts that I've shown you, and just work through it that way. Just break it down into smaller pieces rather than worrying about the whole thing. It is when you understand it, it is quite a simple. It's a simple method really, but the thing about it, it really works. So if you can get out on your boat, get sailing, and just pick some arbitrary kind of waypoints out to sea and see if you can sail to them, then check if you're there by fixing somehow. So maybe like a 3-point fix, or using your GPS.